What's going on? It's week 7. We talking about sports because that's what we do here is we talk about sports. And this week it's NFL, it's week 7, and it's the waiver wire. Two-man weave today with Big Pap's Revenge here with us, all the way from New Braunfels, Texas. So what's up, man? What's going on? How's your night going? Are you waiting for the waiver? And week 7. Can you believe that, man?
Yeah.
Almost halfway through the fantasy year.
Yeah, halfway. I mean, the playoffs usually start around week 14, week 15. I'm good right now. I'm sharing the hell out of this link,
Yeah, that's what I'm
sending
doing
it to
too. So
every
if
group
everybody's
chat.
watching already, go ahead and share the link. We appreciate it. And our shows are live, so you can always comment. Also, none of this edit stuff. We usually just live and direct here, man.
Yeah, but we're here for another waiver wire show. Nothing too crazy this week on the waiver wire, but I mean, we did have a week with some injuries, so we're gonna come in. We're gonna fill in these gaps. This week is I think is a
The
week
vibes too.
and the bye weeks. Yeah, with the bye
There you go. It's
weeks.
shared. You have our attention now. You have our attention.
Yeah, with the bye weeks, there's definitely going to be some room, and everybody's league is different though, Ron. Like that's
Yeah,
the thing. I mean, for the most part, we try and stay 50% or below owned, and we usually go by ESPN's metric. But there's people that play in home leagues, and they're going to have guys. Like I picked up T Higgins on the waiver wire a couple of weeks ago.
mhm.
Like, why am I getting T Higgins on the waiver wire? Everybody's league is different. You know,
That's wild.
yeah, Damian Pierce, the Texans running back, he hit a waiver wire in a league I'm in. There's always going to be guys on your waiver wire this week. We may not talk about the guys because, like we said, we try and stick to 50% owned or less. But
Hmm.
if you all have questions in the comment section, throw them up here, and I'll name a couple here at the end of the show as well. But happy to be back for another show, bro.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up. All right, so week 7. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Josh, what's up? Josh is already with us. Thank you, Josh. How's your team doing, bro? In fantasy? Are you uh are you playing this year? I don't know if are you in any leagues with us? I don't think he's is he in
Josh,
leagues with us?
Josh is still alive in our Survivor, which we're going to get to at the end of the
Oh
show. Josh,
yeah, yeah.
little
Okay.
Survivor update at the end of the show,
All
and
right.
stick around because we had something happen we didn't think would happen this year, boys. So stick around for that one.
So the bye week blues, real quick. The teams that are on bye for week 7: the Panthers, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Texans, the Jets, and the Titans. What big names fantasy wise stick out for you here, Ben?
Yeah, I think that this is a pretty big week. This is the start of it. Week 10 is going to be pretty big as well. But I mean, you have your Tony Pollard, you have your CD Lamb coming off a really good game. We heard the Cowboys saying we got to get CD the ball a little more. Our group chat all over his yards and receptions over. Shout out to you in that parlay you cashed last night. That was
Yeah,
a really
yes,
good
sir.
parlay on the Cowboys game.
Thank you, Marky. What's up, man? Everybody,
Yeah,
I was with
Joe.
Marky earlier. That's why we started a little later than we thought.
Yeah, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase. I mean, Brees Hall has been somebody who's sparked
True.
up as of late. And then with the Panthers, you got Ron, wide receiver
Talk to me.
number 3 on the season, and this is one of your guys. I don't know if he's on any of your rosters. I don't
You're
think that
putting
he
me on
is,
the
but
spot.
Adam Thielen,
I was gonna say Thielen because you said Panthers. That's
Ad,
crazy, right?
Adam Thielen, wide
Just
receiver number 3.
and then you would think with a quarterback like Bryce Young, who's been smeared everywhere in the media as he's not ready, this and that. I mean, dude's still balling, bro. Do you think he got drafted? Or and what percentage do you think he got drafted in leagues? I
I
don't think
think
he got
Adam
drafted in
Thielen.
anything.
No, I think he
And
got drafted to be on people's bench. I do.
okay.
But I mean, they had the rookie Mingo that they drafted the Panthers, but Thielen has been that security blanket and crazy. I did not think he would be fantasy relevant this year. I've never been an Adam Thielen fan, even when he was, taken away from Jettas at the Vikings and
Yeah.
Diggs before that. But man, crazy. That's a steal. That's a steal in the draft. So big bye week blues this week. Definitely a big bye week blues.
All right. So because of the bye week blues and because of this little topic that we're gonna go over right here, this is why you're gonna need to listen to the waiver wires that are coming up. So Montgomery, he's a little banged up. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey as well, the main guy in the picture. Biggest news in the NFL this week was that he was hurt. Williams, a running back for the Rams, and then also Mr. Justin Fields. Real quick story on Williams. We had somebody hit us up. Shout out to Cesar, and he hit us up and said, "Hey, there's a trade going on. It was Amara St. Brown for Williams, straight up. I believe it was." and he had Williams. So I think Ben chimed in, I chimed in, and he kind of already was leaning to where he was going. But we said, go ahead and do the trade. He gets St. Brown. St. Brown goes off. Williams goes off too, but then he gets banged up. Has that ever happened to you, bro? When you trade for somebody and you get them, and the player that you gave away gets hurt? Do you
The
feel bad or
worst.
no?
No, it's happened to me, and me being the mamon I am, I've like told the camarada, hey, cuz that shit ain't fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Bring
let's
them back.
reverse
Bring them
this
back.
trade, bro. Like that ain't even right. Never goes down that way, but it has happened to me once or twice where I trade for a guy and then he gets banged up. For Williams, it shouldn't be too long. I know Marky, see Marky in the chat, he was saying 1 week. He ain't no doctor, but that's what he was saying. So I don't know if he's following beat writers or what he's reading, but I don't think it's anything too serious.
Right.
CMC also went out after scoring his touchdown again. He scores another touchdown in a game. I think that's like 14 or 15 consecutive games that he scored a touchdown in. But he goes out. Their Monday Night Football game this week, Ron, against, I believe it's the Eagles.
Yeah.
Big game this week. And you know what? Monday night, you really don't want to really be with that question mark there, right? So hopefully we get some more news on CMC throughout the week, but he is on the injury report. And then the Lions who have been, winning a lot of football games after dropping that early on in the season. But Gibbs was out, the rookie that everybody was drafting. Now Montgomery finds himself on the injury report again. Got hurt mid-game. We saw Reynolds come in, somebody that we might talk about a little bit later. And then Justin Fields as well, your boy Fields with the Bears.
Yeah, my offensive player of the year, which definitely hasn't worked out, man. But fantasy-wise, fantasy relevancy, I think that's obviously CMC here, is the biggest hit to your roster. Then I would go Montgomery, Williams, and then Fields.
I do think CMC is the least serious, though, out of all of them.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, he's a tough guy regardless of it. I don't think something like an oblique is going to keep him out. The Williams situation, he wasn't getting much run to begin with, and then he kind of started popping off. So that's just tragic, man, that you think you picked up somebody good, started him, and then he goes down.
Right.
The Justin Fields situation, I mean, he really wasn't doing much, no, because I mean, he had a lot of hype, a lot of people. I think going into week 5 was kind of that cutoff week where we had it like you either go off week 5 or that's it, you're done. So does losing him really hurt you? I don't think that he was probably starting for you in the last couple of weeks anyway. I think the biggest hit has to be Montgomery, and I feel bad for the dude because I feel like he's always just getting hurt, man. He can't stay on the field.
And he's been eating like that offense. Once they get inside the 10-yard line,
he had 3 touchdowns week 5, no?
They just push the defense into the end zone, and he follows right behind them. So Williams is confirmed to be out this week, so he will not be playing. Justin Fields confirmed out this week already. Montgomery confirmed out this week. CMC, it's up in the air. They're saying he could play, but like we said, it's the Monday night game, and he is, like the fantasy football darling, so we were going to have him up here a while.
Damn, Marky because Marky was dealing with somebody else, bro, in the league. Not behind my back. He was transparent about it, but he says, hey, cuz this trade's going on too. So he has Kupp and Pittman, and he just looks like he traded him away for Barkley and Waddle. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good trade for Marky to be trading away Cooper Kupp. He's got to really like the trade, right?
Yeah.
I know that he's getting Barkley, and maybe he needs some running back help.
That was his number one priority, was getting a solid back.
Yeah, and I think that's the same guy who in the group chat said Barkley was on the block, a league that we're all in together. But I did look into it. I'm not going to lie. I looked into it, Mark. I didn't like Barkley's playoff schedule. I expect to be in the playoffs. I expect to be in the championship game. And I really didn't like the defenses they were playing late in the year when it would be that playoff time. So I didn't even bother with an offer. But Marky's been itching to make a deal. He's been scraping away with the team that he has. He had an injury to Chubb, which really hurt him. So I'm happy that he made a deal. Like I said, for him to be trading away Kupp, that's pretty big.
I know. Maybe he's not done dealing for the night. I think we have to revise that trade a little bit, Marky. Now, doing a little discussion over here with Benjamin. I think somebody might have snaked you, bro, but we'll get to that later on after the show. Edgar, what's up? Or should we talk about it real quick or no? We touch on it or
No,
not?
no, we
Nah, we're
should
good.
maybe
All
at
right.
the end of the show. Maybe at
How
the end of
about
the show.
them fucking Texans though?
Yeah,
Edgar coming in
our Texans,
hot,
Edgar, our
bro.
Texans are back,
No, hombre.
baby.
Ya va a comenzar, Edgar. He told us in the group chat he's back. Nico
Yeah,
Collins jersey on the way. All right, Ben. So the number one waiver this week that we're going to talk about is Zach Evans. We just got off, saying that Williams was hurt, and there's nobody else in that backfield. This is why, to me, he's probably the guy that's going to get targeted the most. You're going to use the most money to get him. If you're ranked, I think 1 through 3 on your list of waivers, rankings in your league, I think that you go ahead and get this guy. Zach Evans projected 11.3 in week 7.
yeah. I think that he is going to be the top pickup. Like we said, the Williams injury is not. It's not. We don't think that it's very serious. We haven't.
But
Nothing has
regardless,
led.
he's out.
Yes,
Regardless,
he
he's
is
out.
out. But what I'm saying,
Yeah.
this might be just like a 1 week fill-in, is what I'm saying, Ron.
Yeah,
And they have a pretty tough matchup against a Pittsburgh defense that's pretty stingy. But he will be in this week. Last week, he did have 4 carries for 10 yards, 1 fantasy point. Okay, so
you're telling me,
so 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 what?
Oh,
No, I'm putting some context
there you
behind
go.
it.
Yeah.
Look, he's going to get the
Oh, yeah.
whole workload. The whole workload of
Yeah.
the Rams is going to go to him. The Rams offense hasn't been bad. We see now with the addition of Cooper Kupp and still, Puka, who dropped the touchdown this week. The Rams offense can move the ball. We all took him for a survivor pick, right, Ron?
Oh, man. Yeah. And we
It
were
was
sweating it.
we were sweating it, but they got it
They
together.
were down the first half. Yeah.
Marky, like a real fan, real positive, real the whole time, real positive.
Hey, why is Marky getting so many flowers today, bro?
He's coming out.
And he invited me to his house. We hung out. Marky, hanging out with Marky, And to make a trade happen, bro, I feel like he invited the GM over, flew me out in a jet, wined me, dined me, and then he goes and makes a trade behind my back, bro.
So now you should just return the favor, carnal. That's the
Wow,
only right thing
dog.
to do.
Oh, wow, bro.
That's the only right thing to do.
All right, so the second guy we're gonna talk about after Zach Evans.
Let's hold on. Let's go back, Ron. Let me give a
Okay.
little more context here.
Okay, you got a little bit more sauce.
Yeah, no, because he's going to get the full workload. Let's say you're in one of those weeks where you have guys on bye week. You're a Tony Pollard owner. You might be a Damian Pierce owner. You might have multiple running backs out this week. Joe Mixon. Yeah, you know what I mean? Or Chuba Hubbard, who was somebody that a lot of people got last week.
Yeah.
Did really well, double-digit points. There's a lot of running backs out. You might have 2 of them out. You might not want to punt, on your week. You might not have a good backup because running backs, they're slim to none. Yeah. So maybe you go out there and bid for this guy. Listen, last week we talked about DeMarcado, right? Or however you say his name.
Tell me the story, because somebody wasted a lot of fab on that guy.
It was Wally Garza, the lesser half of the Garza brothers. Shout him out too, damn it.
Nah.
But what I will say is he wasted a lot of money on a guy who we thought was going to get the carries, but didn't end up getting it. Here, you're guaranteed Zach Evans will be getting the carries, albeit against a Pittsburgh defense. If you don't want to punt and you need to win, maybe you're a team that's 2-3 and you're battling, or 3-4, whatever it is. You want to get the win. Maybe you go and dump $50. Wally dumped 64 on a guy who got 2 points. Airing him out, right? But I think this is a guy where if you really need to win this week, maybe you go out and get him, hope that he gets you 10 points at least, double digits minimum, and it's serviceable. It's not a 2-point, a 4-point, fill-in running back. So if you're in that type of situation, I do think that maybe you should spend on this guy. That's what I'll say.
Okay, I like that. Mark Chapa's in here too. Go after the Lions running back, which is funny because that's what we're going to talk about next. But just to touch on your point with the Mercado, you're going to, between the two, right? I would take this running back on this team because of the offense and because of other reasons too. A team like the Rams, you can't compare the Rams offense to the Cardinals offense. So I think that was a little bit too much money spent, by Wally on somebody who was going to get all the workload.
We were expecting it, right?
Like Evans is, except the teams are totally different. So I would rather take a back where his team's potential has a high ceiling too, which is more
And
like a Rams
McVay already
offense
said this is
compared
the
to a
guy that's
Cardinals.
McVay said this is the guy that's going to
Yeah.
get the work. Not
All
like
right.
the
So we got
Cardinals,
Louis.
who we were hearing about that other running back. He's going
Yeah.
to get the work.
What's up, Louis? Thanks for joining us, man. So, Mark, here is your guy, man, Mr. Craig Reynolds. He's projected 8.2. Obviously, we just talked about the starting running back Montgomery being out. Gibbs was out last week. I don't know if we have confirmation that he's going to be out again, Ben.
Gibbs might be back this week, Ron. So that's kind of like
There you go, Mark.
that's kind of the kicker in there. Gibbs was out last week, might be back this week. It's a little too early, and that's what sucks. But if you're in need, I mean, we saw Reynolds get 10 carries last week. Ron, 10 carries, 15 yards.
He threw a hell of a block, but that was about the highlight.
He got 2 targets, 2
game.
receptions for 28 yards. So he scored 6.3 points.
I think that the Lions are turning into a little bit more. I know Dan Campbell likes to mix it up 50-50, but let's just call it for what it is. When you're watching the Lions play, you watch them want to air out the ball. You know, whenever Montgomery isn't in, obviously Montgomery's in, you're like, okay, it's a little bit more of a 50-50. But if Goff's balling, that receiving crew over there is great with the emergence of the rookie tight end. Dude, I think that even if Craig Reynolds was the guy there, I think that you still go Rams running back Evans over him. And Louis says, I have King Henry on bye, thinking of picking up Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, so Kareem Hunt wasn't somebody that we had on the list, although he did get into the end zone. Kareem Hunt, I thought he was rostered in more leagues. He's actually only rostered in 26% of leagues.
Wow.
Let's get to Lou. Just because Kareem Hunt wasn't on here, and if he's somebody that's available in some of y'all's leagues.
What happened to Ford? Is he banged up?
No, Ford is there, but Kareem Hunt last week had 12 carries, 47 yards, and a touchdown against the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
That touchdown, I think it was like an 18 to 20-yard touchdown run. So it kind of was the majority of his work. It was a very tough matchup. Lou, what I'll say about Kareem Hunt instead of Evans, Kareem Hunt, I think Nick Chubb is out, right? Yes, Ford is there. But Kareem Hunt has proven he's a really good NFL running back. I think you're better off picking up Kareem Hunt because he's a full season guy, as to where Evans is just that 1 week fill-in or maybe 2 week fill-in until Williams comes back for the Rams. So if Hunt is available in leagues, we don't have him on the slideshow. I didn't realize he was that lowly owned, but if he's available, I would roster Hunt over Evans, who we have as the number one.
Because I saw Hunt getting picked up as soon as Chubb got hurt. I mean, I know he got with the team a little bit later. But it was like
some people,
by week 3, week 4, I think he was already picked up in a lot of leagues. So maybe they dropped him again after the emergence of Ford.
They did run because
Ford blew up.
Because he had 5 points, 1 point, and then Ford blew up also during that time. And the Browns had a bye week.
There you go.
So Kareem Hunt is one of those guys that people might have just dropped if they weren't handcuffing.
You're right, man. Long term, I think that's the answer there. So thank you, Lou, for that one. We didn't have that on. If you guys have any running backs that you want to talk about or any waiver wire pickups in general, just go ahead and bring them up, man, and we can talk about them. Like I said, we do this live, so anything that you want to throw in, you'll get to hear about it right away. This is probably the least guy right here because you said that Christian McCaffrey's injury wasn't as bad as everybody else. And even if you put in somebody like Jordan Mason, there's a lot of other options over there in San Francisco, which is why he's projected at only 2.6 points. But we did mention all the teams on bye. We did mention the potential of you just needing to plug in a roster spot right here. And in some situations, if you're trying to trade like I was today, I was willing to get 2 players that were on a bye this week because they were that good. And I had to wait for week 8.
You like your roster and you're looking at the long game, right?
Exactly. So this is somebody who I would personally not even touch, not even with any kind of fob. But if you want to add a litlittle on Jordan Mason, go ahead.
If you're a Christian, I'll say we have him here because if you're a Christian McCaffrey owner, right, and we're talking about that situation where he plays on Monday night and you don't want to bench Christian McCaffrey, have your 2 running backs play on Sunday, and then he ends up playing Monday and you didn't start him, right? and he
Perfect
scores
scenario.
his touchdown like he's done 16 games in a row.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to go and pick up Jordan Mason because you're a CMC owner. In case of that scenario that CMC gets ruled out on Monday, because maybe we don't hear if he's in or out until Monday,
Or
right?
like a game time decision. What do?
Usually
You
that's how
literally have
teams
to wait.
play it,
Yeah.
right? So at least you'll have that pivot to Jordan Mason.
Hmm.
That's why I put him up here. Because I think
No,
if
it's
you're a
smart.
CMC owner, you got to play the game. You got to go pick up Jordan Mason. I know that they have Wilson as well, Ron, and I think that he's coming off the IR
Yeah, he's
and,
back.
and he'll be back. But Mason did it. He got work with Christian McCaffrey going out 5 carries, 27 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, that's not bad. He's averaging 5 yards a carry, and he got in the end zone. We know that's an offense that scores.
Yeah, the strategy is there. They can move the ball between the 20s definitely, and they're smart enough, coaching on the goal line to where they usually don't get stuffed. Moody's out there, he's kicking for them, but I mean, 49ers score touchdowns,
Yeah, lucky
and
for
if the
you,
right
you're
play is
gonna have.
called.
Lucky for you, you're gonna have their quarterback. Via trade later tonight.
All right, we'll see. So the last guy that we have here is Mr. Josh Palmer, projected 11.9 points. Now, he looks like he's been over here visiting 5 Mile Line Tacos or something, man. I don't know about him. He looks a little,
It's a little
on
thick.
the, yeah, he be looking a little thick. But regardless of it,
Pause.
he's probably the number one wide receiver on the waiver wire right now. I'm not sure who they play this week, but at 12 points, he's been doing well. And I want to just talk about the Quentin Johnston situation because two
Good.
weeks ago, everybody was on him. Last week, everybody was on him, and I just didn't see it. I mean, I was, doing the typical research, looking at other podcasts, ESPN stuff like that, and everybody was so high on Quentin Johnston, and I couldn't understand why he was still rostered in about 40% of the leagues. And I said, Josh Palmer has been doing this every single season because why? Either Mike Williams gets hurt or Chingao, the
Yeah,
starting.
Mike Will or
Uh,
Keenan Allen.
there you go. Or Keenan Allen. Regardless, every year to me, it feels like the past 2-3 years, he's
One or the
been
other.
that number two guy because somebody gets hurt. So
Yeah.
I don't see why you wouldn't go with somebody like Josh Palmer who knows the offense, man. So I really like this guy. I'd waste a decent amount of fab on him. Maybe those 30 tops. If you can still kind of buy him on the low.
Yeah, Ron, his last 3 games, he
What's up,
saw.
EC?
Yeah, what up, Easy? Marky says he dropped him.
Of course. Now Marky's a guru, eh?
He dropped Palmer. No, Marky ain't no guru. That was obviously a dumb move. I'm about to tell you why.
Ow!
The last 3 weeks, since Mike Will went out, 7 targets, 4 receptions, 14 points because he got a touchdown, 8 targets, 10.7 points that week, and then 7 targets against Dallas, 10 points for that week. So he's been 10 points. The Chargers drafted, like you said, Quentin Johnston to be that guy. He hasn't shown us he's that guy. Mike Will went down. They didn't go out and get anybody else. They expect somebody to step up. Who else than Josh Palmer, right? The guy that's been there, done it
Yeah,
for
who's been
them.
doing it?
And to be honest, I'm a Herbert owner in fantasy this year, and he's been a hell of a quarterback this year. He's been 25 points
Oof.
consistently. Palmer has been double digits. I think this is a perfect bye week Blues fill in. I think he should be on your bench because if he's getting double digit points, 3 weeks in a row since the Mike Will injury, I mean, that's consistency. He already had his bye week, another huge plus. He
Mhm.
already had his bye
Yeah,
week.
you have him for the
So
rest of the year.
this is a guy that you can plug into that flex position, maybe wide receiver 2 position. Like I said, he's 49% owned. He's just under that 50%, marker. But if he's out there, I think that this should be priority number 1 on the waiver wire this week if he's out there. Like I said, maybe
You
there's certain outliners in
Yeah.
y'all's home leagues, but for the most part, Josh Palmer, I think he's a pretty safe bet. And like I said, the bye week is done. You ain't got to worry about that.
I like it, man. I like it a lot. So that was our last guy to cover for the waiver wire. We're gonna get into the survivor pool, and I trying to see how many names are on here, but we had 2 people go down,
Yeah,
and poor
so we should have
Jose,
11
bro.
left.
I believe it's 12. Let me check because we had 14. Ahorita te digo, cuz.
D-man. But let me tell a story about Jose. Shout out Jose Venegas,
Pobrecito.
baby.
Nah.
He's out in Houston. Jose normally wakes up on Sundays and puts in his survivor pick, I guess. Well, he slept in a little past the start time of the London game, and the survivor pool locks when the first game starts. So at 8:30 a.m., when
Yuck.
the Ravens and Titans kicked off, it locked. He didn't even get to put his pick in. Normally, this is something that happens like week 1, week 2,
Mm-hmm.
early on. For it to happen right now and have somebody get bounced that way,
We'll
hey,
take it.
Jose, salute, baby. That's camarada shit right there. I hope your Saturday night was a hell of a night for you to not wake up in time,
And
for this.
I feel like somebody like Jose's responsible, man. He's one of
He
those
is.
responsible guys, you know. He
He,
likes to have a good time, but hey, that alarm is set and that reminder's on the phone. Or like he's the type maybe make the pick the night before. You know, like hey, in case I get a little messed up and
he
I can't make
slept
my pick.
up. He's gonna hear about this one for a while. He said he was doing us a favor. You got to play it off like the cool guy.
Hell yeah.
But Jose definitely wasn't expected from him. Like you said, he's on the sharper side. He's on the sharper
He
side.
is. He is. Peck
And then we
says,
had one other, hold on,
yeah.
real quick, Ron. We had one other
No, you're good.
elimination. Uh, H. Leo,
H
so
Leo.
he got eliminated
With
picking the Eagles.
Philadelphia.
Picking the Eagles, losing to the Jets. They
Yep.
were up at halftime, seemed like they were going to cruise to a win with the Jets DBs out, but Salah pulls it out, gives
Mm-hmm.
that speech about going through the gauntlet and being 3-3 going into the bye week. They got to feel pretty good about themselves. They didn't make that move for the quarterback. Who knows if it's still in the cards after winning 2 in a row going into the bye week. I think they're just going to stick it out with Wilson. But man, that's a tough one to use up the Eagles and lose, an undefeated team.
And that's who we had talked about off camera. It was either going to be the Rams or the Eagles that week, and luckily we all rode the Rams, man, because we would have been pissed, and there would have been what if say we all change the people who took the Rams instead of the Eagles, that would have been 4 people out in 1 week. So we
Yeah,
currently are down to 11. 11 people left going into week 7. $760 pot. Good luck to everybody who signed up and played. And that's pretty much it for the show, man. We
yeah.
appreciate everybody watching. And our next show will be Sunday. Our bye week, speaking of the bye week blues, was last
Why
Sunday or this
lie?
past
Last
Sunday.
minute call. It was an Omaha bye week. We talking about sports. Had the bye week last week. We had one of those early bye
Oh,
weeks,
yeah,
but you
Peck.
know
Hold on.
what?
Hey, Peck's question. Peck's question.
What's Peck got? Any update on CMC? Is that his question?
Yeah, any update on CMC?
Peck, and no update just yet. I think, like we said, if you have CMC on your fantasy team, you might want to go get one of those backups. If Wilson is still out there, if not, go get Mason. But it's going to be tricky with CMC this week. Hopefully, the 49ers give us some information earlier in the week, but they play on Monday night, so it's going to be tricky.
Yep, no official word from the 49ers camp, but
Mitchell, there you go, Mitchell.
We'll send a
If
reporter over there.
Yeah, if Mitchell's on the waiver wire, that's who you want because Mitchell's been there for a while. I don't know why I keep saying Wilson. I think it's because Wilson's coming back for the Dolphins this week.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wilson Jr.
Yeah, he's somebody else who used to be with the Niners. But yeah, Elijah Mitchell, definitely grab him before you grab Mason, Izzy, if Mitchell's still available.
All right, as we go, there is talk of WTBS winter merch. I don't know. Maybe we'll get some out. I'm wearing my cowboy hoodie. A little WTBS hoodie wouldn't look too bad, you know. How's the weather up there in New Braunfels, man? It's been like wake up here in the 60s, get to about high 70s, and then back to the 50s. Is it colder up
Yeah.
there?
I mean, no, should 70s, cuz I don't know if you've actually, is that confirmed or is that just
What?
off the top? Because you said it hasn't even gotten into the 80s. It's like 60s, 70s, and then back to the 60s. Over here, we're
No,
getting into the high 80s.
high 80s. Maybe today, but yesterday it was. I woke up and it said 56 on my phone when I woke up.
Oh shit! Well,
Yeah,
you do wake up early though. But
true.
like at 8 o'clock when I leave the house, it's in the 60s. It feels real good. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, by 11 o'clock, the sun comes out. We're in the mid 80s, and then
Just
like
golfing
you,
weather.
this is great golfing weather, bro. I'm gonna try and play on Friday. Friday, I got an early day at work, and I'm gonna go try and play a little sundowner, maybe a 2 o'clock
Oof.
start. That way, we finish the whole
Oof.
18.
Perfect. Mark, WTBS beanies, perhaps.
Oh, I like it, Mark.
A ver, ¿qué dice? This is turned into a weather show. We had mixed mid 40s in West Texas. Ay, güey, sí. Gotta
Hey, what
say,
I'll
when you
say,
say West Texas, you gotta go West Texas.
the biggest mamones on planet Earth, and it's a big ass planet, all right? Our weathermen. God damn. I don't know if you need a
Why does your brother
degree,
agree, bro?
huh?
Your brother just agreed with you.
He says you all need Tim Smith on the
But
pod with all these weather talk. Hey, the weathermen, they can call completely like, oh, it's gonna be 90 tomorrow. Shit, it only hits 70. Nobody calls them out. It's like the UFC judges, bro. They put up bullshit cards and they don't get asked the serious questions.
they always call out the weather guys, cuz it's like they're
No,
on
no.
memes everywhere. Like, and
You
then they
know
give them
what?
nicknames like Lying Larry and Tall Tail Tim.
Hey, well, Tim
Fuck.
Smith is in the Hall of Fame. His jersey's up. Like there was never no bullshit about Tim Smith.
Timmy.
Edgar lives in Dallas, and he's still shouting out Tim Smith. That's a Valley legend. And then Ron, at the same time,
Talk to me.
maybe the weathermen get called out because the weather women don't get called out because they're strategic with that. We're gonna save that for another
What?
podcast. But
That
maybe
made no sense.
no, maybe they kill the weathermen because they can't kill the weather ladies, weather women,
Weather
whatever the
women.
term is for them. Yeah, because
It's
the
true.
hiring process might be skewed a little bit. You know what I
I
mean?
could see that analogy.
Yeah. Someone's got to get the heat. Someone's got to get the heat.
What are you gonna eat for dinner?
I'm gonna put some pizza in the oven. Why lying?
Yeah.
The wife went
Going
out
on now.
for yeah. The wife went out for
What?
like yeah.
You
They
let her
had
go out by
like
herself?
this. Hey, this has gone
That's
completely
a
off the
question.
no, but off the rails from a sports podcast.
It's
Yes, of
okay.
course I let her go out, Ron. She went to go have dinner with everybody from work. It was like a work event. So it's a pizza in the oven type of night. If you have that popcorn chicken that you throw in the oven,
Ooh.
uh, it's one of those type of nights. You know what I mean? Ain't
Just
gonna
don't
get no
burn it.
cooking tonight. Ain't gonna
Don't
get
burn
no
it like
cooking
last
tonight.
time. You burned the hell out of it last time.
Out of what?
The pizza
Uh,
after the
yeah,
UFC.
we like it.
Everybody
Oh,
was hungry.
after the UFC, bro. The UFC finishes at 1 a.m. Y'all can
But
just imagine como andábamos at that time.
look, Alyssa respects the pause. She was like, "My mom told me you were recording, so I don't want to bother you. I came to run some errands."
Oh
Yeah.
shit, getting shit done. I like it.
Ooh.
I like
You
it.
don't know, Nico? Out of nowhere, Nico from the top rope. Puro
Hey
pinche
Nico, and just in the
cabos.
comment section, Nico, I've seen Marky with a lot of trolling and slandering on Facebook.
Of what?
Nico, is it Astros or is it Rangers? Nico, make it official. I know you live in the woodlands now, up in Houston. Hey,
I thought Nico looks like a Yankee fan. That's what he looks like.
maybe back in the day,
Like he's a
you
little
know what I mean?
slick, like like good looking little guy.
Astros in 7, yes sir. I like it. Stamp it. That's official. Marky, quit the bullshit, Mark. He's an Astros fan, baby.
Hey, he's going up there to Houston. I'll be up there too for different reasons, but you should go. I think he's
When
going for a wedding.
this weekend?
Marky, yeah.
Man, this weekend that UFC pay-per-view starts at
Oof.
7 a.m.
Ah, that's right. UFC main co-main. Who's winning?
Co-main Usman against Chimaev. Usman stepping in on short notice. We're not going to have a pod for this, so I'm glad you brought it up. We can talk about the co-main and the main right
That's
before we get out
terrible,
of here.
bro. UFC 294, no pod.
UFC 294 in
Wow.
Abu Dhabi.
Oof.
So yeah, Chimaev and Usman stepping in on short notice. I was telling Roland before the pod that Chimaev has sounded real friendly, too
Hmm.
friendly. Usually he's like, I go out there, I'm gonna smash, brother. Josh, tap hour, you down or what, Josh?
Oh, I love that,
Josh,
bro.
later this week, Josh.
Hey,
Hey,
go see his reel on our social media when he gets interviewed at the live at the show by what's the girl's name? Some reporter
Megan
Christian
Megan
something.
O'Leary or
Oh
no?
yeah, Megan Levy.
Let's just say Megan O'Leary for the sake of the podcast. Oh, so
Dan
look,
Josh,
listen.
you know? Say
We,
when.
there we go.
I'm there.
We might have a tap
Post it.
hour. We're just gonna get into the co-main and main. Josh will do a tap hour later this week. Like Ron said, this UFC card deserves some justice. But in the co-main, yeah, I got Usman, Ron. Chimaev usually comes out saying, "I'm gonna smash, brother." You know that whole Khabib shit. I'm gonna smash. He's putting a lot of respect behind Usman's name, although it is warranted.
It is.
Usman deserves the respect, and Usman jumping in on short notice is not the
It ain't gonna
most
happen,
ideal
bro.
thing. Like, you really don't think that he would do that, but it's because he's been the champ for so long, and champs don't do short notice. Now he's trying to get there. I don't know if it's a money grab because of the opponent, but based off Chimaev, talking all friendly and not saying smash, I'm gonna go Usman. Usman by decision. Bet lesson. Usman.
Nah, I don't think Usman's gonna win, man. I think that even though he's talking a little bit differently, the performance is gonna stay the same inside the octagon, and I think that Usman's gonna get beaten down. His body's already kind of wearing down on him. I don't know if it's a money grab, but just another opportunity to be in the spotlight, to be co-headlining a UFC 294 event that you probably didn't think that you were gonna get there again, or at least not this quick. So,
Chill, cuz.
so
Chill, cuz.
his name doesn't hold that much weight. I don't know. I mean,
It
can he?
does weigh. It does weigh.
But can he like headline an event? I don't know about that. So
Wakanda forever.
let's just say he does get a walk-off win. This is his best opportunity to do it. So I don't think it's the
If
smartest
he
thing for
does
him to
this,
do it.
he's right back up there. Like if
Yeah,
he
but I'm
beats this
saying that it's
guy,
not the smartest move because it's not the
it's the
the
only move,
easiest way to
cuz.
get there.
Yeah, but it's the
Yeah.
only move, cuz.
Yeah, but
He's
then if
at
he takes an L, you're like, oh, if he wins and you know where it's gonna go. If he takes an L, then
his fights, I think that we can count Usman's fights on one hand, how many fights he has left in the USC.
yeah,
So that's
that's what
why
I'm
this is the
saying.
right move. That's why this is the right move. Because you got maybe 5 fights tops
Mhm.
left in the UFC. So go out there, jump on a limb, take on this guy who looked beatable against Gilbert Burns, a guy that Usman has already beat. Go
Yeah.
out there, you know, both of you go to hell and then beat him in hell. That's what it comes down to in fights like this, because you drag Avato
That
into
analysis,
hell.
I don't know if you can get that analysis anywhere else
Shit.
on the internet
Just say,
live.
just take him to hell and beat him in hell.
Nico, ¿qué dice Nico? Volk gonna beat Islam.
I'm with
I hope
Nico.
so, bro.
I'm
But
with Nico.
are we with him as fans of Volk, or are we,
Yes.
or as like strategically? I think this is gonna happen
Solely off fandom.
solely off fandom. Yes,
I
Josh. The Eagles did sign Julio Jones. Me and Marky were talking about that.
Did you think it was a big deal?
No, no.
This is AJ Brown throwing the little. Hey, my homeboy, he still got it. They were
Like
better off signing To, bro.
Julio Jones was like probably came to him like, "Hey man, I need some cash," and he's like, "I like, you know what? I got something better. I ain't gonna give you my money.
You
I'll
know
sign
what?
you to the Eagles
You know
though."
what? Come win a Super Bowl, homie.
And then
Come,
pay me, and then give me a cut.
come just be the OG in the wide receiver room.
Nico Wakanda forever. Volk, man. Let's just make it a consensus play. Do you have the
Yeah.
odds?
I don't have the odds. I can pull them up real
Yeah,
quick
let's pull them
though.
up real quick.
I know Volk and Usman are both
Our dogs
underdogs.
for sure.
Listen, one of the two is going to win because I think if you take both, you're
Parlay
going to be all right. No. Let's not parlay them.
Just light.
Nah. I mean,
Yeah, the
maybe take them
payout.
both solo and then parlay them.
Yeah.
Because at the least, one of the two, I believe, will win.
Here it is. UFC 294. Usman plus 230. Chimiev minus 295. Volk plus 215. Islam minus 270.
That's what I'm saying. Just take both of them straight. You'll win double. And if one of them wins, I mean, you got a winning night.
You even out.
No.
Yeah. Because, like, if I put 100 on both of them and Usman loses, I'm down a bill. And Volkanovski wins, I
You
win
win
2
two
bills.
bills. Right.
Yeah. So you get your 100 back and you're up 2 bills.
You're up a bill.
2 bills.
1 bill.
2, eh? Wait.
You're on.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
up.
You're only up a bill.
But you're up.
But you're up. Yeah.
But you're up. Hey, this we talking about sports math. If Roland was here, we would have had him.
Hey, look who it is. Ben was, man, you didn't get to meet these guys, bro. They're awesome. The 956 ABV podcast. Guys, if you um love podcasts and you enjoy just kicking back and having a few beers and just having a good time and talking about music and finding out about local podcasters too and local people on social media like TikTok, Instagram, all that. Check out the 956 ABV podcast, bro. Out of Alamo, Texas, aka or not aka. What is it, Ben? When in fighting, they're via Alamo, Texas,
Via.
via Ed Couch Elsa. But they were
Okay.
cool, man. They had me and Justin on. Hopefully, we get to do it again, and you can come on, and Roland can come
Is
on as
that
well.
out? Is that out on their page? Do you
It's
know?
the audio was out. So what they do is like we went to record, bro. It was
Where
at
did
this
y'all
like
go record it?
it's called
Hey,
shoot.
they're coming
Type
in
it
here
in
with
there.
the Puro Pinche Niners, like
Yeah, he's
straight
a
off a
rowdy
loss.
fan.
All right, all right,
So
all
yeah,
right.
so if you watch
Respect.
the show, we talked
Salute.
about it. We talked about
Salute.
it. But yeah, it was the landmark on Tower in Alamo is where it's at, and they have like a beer wall, and it's
Sounds
on their
legit.
social media.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on ours. The audio is already out. The video will be out next week or something like that. But just follow their social medias, and it'll be out there. But man, I want you on next time, bro, because it was just like this, like just chilling, kicking back, talking, drinking some beers. It was a good time.
Yeah. Hopefully for a playoff game, maybe we can do it again.
Oh, that'd be dope. But yeah, he's a big 49ers fan. Andy and Antidote out there were the guys that we were with. So he wasn't too happy with that upset of Cleveland. And he was giving me shit because we did the podcast last Thursday coming off
And
that
they had
30.
just beaten the shit out of you.
Yeah, rowdy, bro. Rowdy. So much love, guys. What else do you say? Love all you guys do. Thanks, man. You as well. We'll link up again. We'll link up again.
For sure.
But
But all right, well, let's
what do
get
you
out of
think?
here.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
get
out.
some dinner. Finish these college football games. The Phillies are on as well. I got
Oof.
the Phillies tonight. The Phillies been hot.
Pues
Phillies been hot.
enjoy your pizza, cuz.
Yes, sir.
All right, later, guys. Thank you.
Deuces.